Hello and welcome back to Cinnamon Sanctuary. Today we're making tuna pasta, really quick and easy recipe and perfect for if you are short of ideas in the evening for dinner or even for lunch. If you want something really quick, this is perfect for you. So please stay tuned if you want to find out how I go about making this. The great thing about this recipe is you don't need very many ingredients. So in here we have 2 tins of tuna that came in sunflower oil, and that's about it in terms of the fish. 2 tins I think are perfect for the amount needed. And we also have some sweet corn, which I'm using by way of vegetable, some onion and chopped garlic, some red peppers, about half or a quarter of a red pepper, some thyme, a couple of bay leaves, and about 1 teaspoon of tomato puree. And by way of seasoning, I'm using some all-purpose seasoning as per usual. And I'm also going in with some black pepper, some Aromat Knorr, a bit of powdered ginger. I like to use ginger when I'm cooking fish. I think it does work. The combination works really well together. And then just 1 jar of pasta sauce, tomato and basil flavor in this case. In my heated up pan, I'm going in with the tuna first, and as mentioned, this came in sunflower oil, which is the reason why I didn't add any oil in there. I think this oil here is sufficient for the purpose of this dish. So I'm just adding in the oil, and we're going to let this warm up a bit further before going in with our chopped garlic and onion. So I used about 2 small red onions, so the equivalent of 1 onion, and 3 cloves of garlic. But as usual, I will put all the ingredients in the description bar so you don't have to worry about that. I'll make sure that all the ingredients are there so you don't have to wonder about what I have used. So we're just letting this all warm up and sweat a little bit. I went in with the bay leaves and the thyme. It's nice to go in with the leaves first because I think with the combination of the oil and the leaves gives a lot of fragrance out. So if you want the dish to be really fragrant, it's good to go in with any leaves that you're using for the dish. So now we're just adding in the pepper. Again, I didn't go in first with the pepper because, I think when I'm cooking, it's nice to start with the onions and garlic, let the flavors be released, and then go in with whatever other vegetable you have, in this case, pepper. So we're just stirring this all together now, and we're going to let this sweat out for approximately 5 to 7 minutes before going in with our tomato paste. Now that the onion, garlic, and peppers are nice and soft, I'm just going in with the tomato paste, and I'm using about 1 teaspoon of tomato paste here. And we're going to stir this all together, make sure that it's nicely combined, and let the tomato paste cook for a little bit, usually about 5 to 6 minutes, before we go in with our seasoning. I didn't show this at the beginning, but I decided to go in with a bit of the bolognese seasoning by Schwartz, which I tend to use when I cook tomato-based pasta dishes. And I'm also adding in my Aromat Knorr, a bit of all-purpose seasoning, also going in with some black pepper and the ginger powder as mentioned earlier on. And I'm just going to stir this in a little bit, let it cook and release its flavors before going in with the jar of tomato sauce. About 5 minutes after we've added our seasoning, now is a good time to go in with your jar of pasta sauce. And I just added this in, and I'm going to rinse the jar with some hot water to ensure that I don't waste anything, waste not, want not in this channel. I always have to ensure that I go through all the crevices so that we get all of the goodness out. And we're just going to let this simmer for a couple of minutes before going in with our vegetable. So I'm using sweet corn here, but feel free to use any veg that you like. Just a note, if you're going to go for a hard veg such as carrots, it's better to put this in towards the beginning of the cooking of your cooking time. So I would have put it in, if you're using carrots, at the time where you've added your onions and garlic. Just a note. All of our ingredients are combined, and now we're just going to let the heat do its thing. But I decided at the last minute that I wanted to go in with about a teaspoon of sugar. And what this does, it neutralizes the acidity of the tomatoes. And when I cook tomato dishes, especially that go with pasta, I tend to use a little bit of sugar in the tomato sauce, and I don't know, it's a really nice addition. I didn't have brown sugar at that time, so I just used some white sugar, and then we're just going to let this simmer for a further 10 minutes. Here is the end result. Our tuna and sweet corn sauce is fully done now. It's looking nice and rich, and I'm just stirring this together to show you what it looks like. And we are going to have this with some spaghetti at this point, and I'm going to show you in a minute how I go about making this. But I just follow the packet's instructions to make my spaghetti. And as I said, this is such a quick dish. It took under 25 minutes to make this. So if you're stuck for ideas in the evening, this is perfect. We have some water boiling in the background, and I'm just going in with a little bit of salt to taste. Sometimes I go in with some olive oil as well to ensure that the pasta doesn't stick together, but in this case I decided not to. So I just broke in a little bit of spaghetti here. I used a whole pack, I believe, and the reason why I break this in half is to make it easier for the children to eat. If it were just me and my husband eating this, I would probably leave it whole because I quite like, turning this around the fork, but I couldn't in this case. So I'm just separating this with a fork so that it doesn't stick together, and we're going to let this cook according to the packet's instructions, about 10 minutes in this case. So we've come to the end of our very delicious and quick dinner. I'm just plating up one portion for the taste test. We want to find out if our dish turned out as it should be. It normally does. I mean, this has been tried and tested so many times. I've been cooking this for years now, and every time I'm stuck for ideas, and if I have the ingredients, I just go in with this pasta dish. I hope you try it as well, and let me know how long it takes. It never takes longer than half an hour, I promise you. And I'm just going in, twirling everything around, but I know at this point that given how the kitchen was smelling, that this was already going to taste amazing. Thank you very much for watching so far. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment and like. I really love interacting with you guys on Instagram, and I hope to see you very soon on the next video. Bye!